Hey everybody, welcome to Friday night's edition of Paranormal Question of the Day. We'll be right back right after the short intro. And we are back, and we already have somebody in here. So, Voodoo Roll. Wow. That's a
Hello.
first. Welcome to the show. And so tonight we have a very special guest with us. We have Nikki.
And I see Scott's in there. Hi, Scott. Scott, I actually have your book right here.
And Scott. So we have Nikki Wilson with us today, and welcome to the show. She is part of ANNIK Paranormal, founder of ANNIK Paranormal, and yeah. So how's it going today?
Let's see what I do today. Just worked. That's it. Nothing ghostly. Not like Kat and Will. Right now, they're having a lot of fun.
Yes, absolutely. Which reminded me that after tonight's show, Kat and William are at Edinburgh Manor, in Scottsgrove, Iowa. So join them for their lives tonight after tonight's show.
I'm probably going to be on there for sure. So,
yep. They've kindly decided not to go live until the show's over. So,
but we miss you.
Absolutely. And you want to check out a great location, Edinburgh Manor is the great place to go. And
Crossing Guard Paranormal. So that's Dennis and Christian. I met them at the Sheboygan Asylum. Patty B. I also know her from the Sheboygan Asylum. So welcome. Thanks, guys.
People are piling in. Hey, Mr. Chris Schofield. And the list keeps going. We got Penny Hurston. And we got Virgil. Welcome.
From Manchester. Thank you.
Yeah. And Supernatural, Lost in Adventures.
Hi, guys.
Man, they're just pouring in. This is about the fastest I've had people pouring in. So, Nikki.
Yes.
So who is Nikki Wilson, and how did you get into the paranormal field?
All right. Well, I moved into the apartment complex that I'm currently living in 2019. And that's my first paranormal experience was in the basement here. I am an intuitive empath, which at the time I didn't know I was. I knew something was going on with me my whole life. I just didn't know what it was. And I can feel energies and feel them. So I felt something looking at me downstairs, and I kind of took this almost like just a 180 video. And after analyzing it, there was about 3 people. Thank you. But so when your house is haunted, you can either move or you can embrace it. And I always was open to it. I never had anything happen to me. So once something happened to me, I was like, whoa, now I need to know more. I didn't fear it. Now I was like, okay, it's happening. So let's figure out what's going on. I mean, there's always too much to figure out, but we're going to spend the rest of our lives trying to, right?
Right. And that's exactly what the paranormal field is. It never ends because something always new comes aboard.
Yeah.
And that's just how it goes. So you openly kind of investigate your apartment every once in a while.
Every once in a while, I'm in the falls. There's a lot of Native American, I'm on the main Indian trail back in the day. So there's a lot going on. We're on a lot of limestone around here. Right. So there's a lot of things that go on here, and it was more, I had to figure out how to control all that. Obviously we both know Scotty Rourke, famous psychic medium Scotty. And thank goodness for him, because he helped me figure out a lot of stuff that's going on with me, figure out things that I can do to control my space more and stuff like that. So, and thank you, Virgil.
Well, I'll have to see what else he comments, because sometimes he says the same things all the time. But welcome to the show, everybody. And I'm glad everybody is tuning in, and hopefully everybody is doing well tonight. And so, like I said, you got your first paranormal experience. So what kind of piece of equipment did you use to start out with?
My phone. That's why my team really doesn't invest in too many cameras. I do have the SLS. I do love my SLS,
Hey,
but
Mike.
as far as infrared, hi Mike. As far as like the infrareds and all that, I don't, because when I was in that basement the first time, I was using my Samsung.
Mm-hmm.
And then the reason I started ANNIK is my best friend Annie,
Right.
Nikki, and Nick. Okay, so I was like, bestie, hey, I got a ghost in my basement. Let's go see if we can find more. And so we did. We went to La Belle Cemetery, and she ended up catching full apparitions as well. And she has an iPhone. So then we realized we're thinking it's not the phone, it's almost the energy and
Hey,
the
Dan.
people using equipment. We all have our favorite piece. So
Right.
it's almost like somebody using their tarot cards to communicate or get that message across. It just depends on the equipment between us and the spirit world, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's something. It's so funny that you say your Samsung phone. A lot of times when Kat is in whatever location she's in, I always give her crap because I have an Apple phone, and it's like because it's like the video quality gets so blurred out real quick. I'm like, oh, she
Mhm.
must be using her Samsung phone again. And she's like, yep, everything every time now she comes on. I'm using my Samsung phone. You got to give me any shit about this today?
Oh,
So
God.
I just like,
Hey.
hey, talent more sports. And yeah, I just do it just to be funny. But hey, Jamie Lynn, how you doing?
Jamie. Okay, so I have seen Jamie now 3 times. First, Jamie and I watched with Darren, watch Aaron G. Thompson make all of his little moon rings. And then we had to hop on to Kat and Will
Yeah,
investigating. And now we're here just continuing this paranormal party all night.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's just and it that's just kind of how it trickles on these Mondays and Fridays and during the week too. I mean, there's a lot of people that do investigate during the week that people kind of forget. They think it's always on weekends, but
It's
it's during the
not.
week, you
It's
know.
not. Yeah.
So, what do you feel about like I should say, let's put it this way: what is your biggest pet peeve at the paranormal field?
The biggest pet peeve. In the whole field, I'm going to say, like, well, one thing, again, I don't do ego. So my big thing is I don't want competition between teams. I
Hmm.
want us all to get along. I want world peace. I'm one of those people. You know what I'm saying? We should
Right,
be able to coexist, no drama, that kind of stuff. You know what I
right.
mean? That's one of my things. I don't really have too many pet peeves. Energy is my main thing with all
Hmm.
of this. Energy, frequency, and vibration. That is what it is about. Nikola would be so proud of me. Nikola Tesla, people. Um, no, but that's what it comes down to is energy, intention, all this stuff. And unless you get that, that's kind of what it takes to be that really good ghost hunter, because that's how I also believe how you are in this world. And this isn't like my quote. I use a lot of quotes, people. I live by them, I use them, and I will try to give credit where credit is due.
Hmm.
And I believe it was Cindy Kaza that says, and I believe this, however you are in this world is how you receive the spirit world back, if that makes
Right.
sense.
No,
So,
no. Yeah, it's what you put in is what you get back.
right. So, light and love. That's it. If you don't have that, that's my pet peeve. I have no time for haters.
Yeah, I agree with that. Hey, Ron's in the
Hi,
house.
Ron.
Welcome.
Patty
And
B.
so, yeah, if you all have questions, just let us know and put them in there, and I'll put them up. And I'll use my bifocals to read them as best as I can. So, but other than that, so what is your like? I know you like to use your cell phone and stuff like that for
Mhm.
equipment and stuff like that. Now, you mentioned me earlier in the week that you like to make equipment. So, what is the
Well,
kind of equipment you want to make?
I don't. The only thing I really want to put together, which we can all buy, is a portal. But I know they're easy to put together, and I already have a honeytone little mini amp, and mine's a cute little turquoise one because I'm the girl that likes pink and pastel and all that kind of stuff. So, anyways, that's what I want. I was in electronics when I was in high school. I was the only girl in the electronics class, but
Hmm.
it intrigues me a little bit. So even though I'm not like this smart little scientist, I like to occasionally put things together, and something like that is very simple.
Mhm.
And I believe that there's a YouTube video for everything on that. You know what I'm saying? Actually, there is. And Mike Del Coro, a very good
Mhm.
ghost hunter in Florida, does a really good YouTube video on how to build a portal. I'm actually going to build one, and probably in fall, because I have a lot going on until then. But that's the only reason why, is because I could pay $350 for it, or I could pay $150
Right. Right.
and watch a
Uh,
YouTube video and challenge
exactly.
myself a little bit.
Brenda's new, so welcome, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda. Thank you.
And Melanie,
Hi,
do you
Melanie.
use pendulums and or dozen rods?
I have pendulums. I don't play too much with the pendulums. My friend Kara does more. I don't know if she's going to be on or not, but dowsing rods, the bestie Annie, the other half of ANNIK, she did buy me some copper ones. I do use them occasionally. I don't bring them with my on too many investigations, because mine aren't in the cute little case. But I do have the copper ones. I do feel like, obviously, better conductor.
Hmm.
I do have a friend that has the glow ones. Gail, Scotty's Gail has the glow ones. Those are kind of
Okay.
cute, but I do feel that they're more personal. But again, you got to know how to use them. If you're not using them correctly, that's another thing that, you breathe wrong and you could move it wrong. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah. Yeah.
So as long as you're experienced and know how to use them, and there's a lot of videos on great videos on tips on how to use those out there.
Yeah. Absolutely. And just to answer Ron, yeah, it's a spirit box. It's
It
just a different way how of using it.
Well, so where a spirit box run or the SB7, SB11, any of those have that white noise, what the portal does is eliminates the white noise, so you're just hearing the word itself. So it comes through a little creepier too, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of. And I don't know. Have you ever investigated with Mike Minnick?
No.
Okay, so he makes the Bugsy box. So it's
Okay.
kind of the same way as like the portal. So
Okay.
if anything, too, I'd say talk to Mike and he can let you know on how to make that portal.
That's my cousin right there that said that.
This right here.
Yeah, that's my cousin Chris. He's
Oh,
actually, because I have an all-girl team, if I
mm-hmm.
do need security, I bring him.
Right.
He's my security. And the one thing I'm afraid of, he's right. The one thing that scared me when I was a little kid is ET.
Shut up.
I'm not even kidding you. And my aunt, I don't know if she's watching, Shelly, the one that's on my team, she can verify, because she's the one that took me to the movie, and I sat there the whole time like this. She was like so pissed off. She's like, I took you to watch this movie and you're just sitting here like this.
Well, you know what? It's funny because I was freaking freaked out by ET too when I was
A
little.
lot of people were. I've heard of radio people talking about stuff at Halloween, and people call it and say that. I didn't feel so bad. See, Chris, I'm not the only one.
See, I mean, they gave me like, they, they gave me a ET sleeping bag. I'm like, why did you give me this? I don't like this person.
I know my mom made me an ET costume after that. I'm not even kidding you. Like, they torment us still after the fact. Scott, when did I become a paranormal investigator? In 2019, to answer your question. That was when we call them baby ghosts, because that was the first ghost that I saw in this video. And it was cute because my mom, actually, I tell her about it. I'm like, hey, I'm her only child. She's a big supporter. I know she's watching. Thank you for creating me. But I call her up and I'm like, hey, I got this baby ghost in my basement. She goes, oh my God. She was like, I feel so bad. What if he's trapped? You need to go put a teddy bear down there. He needs a teddy bear. I'm like, okay. And now like 4 years into this, guess the parents bought the Boo Bear for me, the Boo Buddy.
Right.
So I have the Boo Buddy because they felt bad. ET's adorable. Actually, now, yes, Mike, I do agree. I watch him now, but for a while, it was a very traumatic moment in my life. So
It's like, yeah, we go paranormal hunting and we go, ET phone home. Come touch my finger. So
so funny.
it's funny. So Okay, so a lot of us in the paranormal field, we know how we feel about orbs,
Yes.
and a lot of times we feel it's 99% dust, bugs, lightning bugs, and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it happens in so few moments in our lives. And there's some people that maybe catch one in their life. Um, so how do you feel about orbs and that you have caught some?
I am so glad you asked this question because I am. And the first thing I'm going to tell you, orbs exist and dust exists and water molecule particles exist. They all exist. But you have to educate yourself on difference. This is an awesome book. If you can educate yourself on the fact that they move differently, dust, there's going to be a lot. You have airflow, so you're going to see the way dust moves. And if you see, you've probably seen on my content on one of my media platforms, I ask them to come to me. If you want videos, here, Madonna says it. People don't get what they want because people don't ask what they want. So here I was trying to film orbs when I first started doing this. And I'm like, well, why don't I just ask them? So I did. I started asking them to come to me. I was sitting on Farrar's, their stage in the auditorium, and I was looking at stage left. There's those stairs. And I asked them if you can come up the stairs in orb form and go through the door. Dust doesn't do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's certain things that, or the gymnasium one is the best probably that I got, because that one, it's clear as day. It comes out from the side from the boiler room almost, and it's coming across the entire gym at me. And that was a little child spirit. I connect with them very easy. I can feel that's a child spirit. I can't necessarily be like, that's a boy, that's a girl, he's 7, whatever. But I can definitely feel the children for some reason when they come out and play. And they just, I don't know if they just like my aura or what, but they'll come out for me usually, especially if I'm by myself, make them feel comfortable. As any kid, no kids wants that. And I say that at these asylum tours when I was a paranormal tour guide. I'm like, you guys, you got to think when we're asking a 5-year-old come out, doesn't matter what side, you're trying to come out in front of 20 adults, kind of intimidating, no matter if you're on this side or that side.
Right. No, I get that. I mean, I've caught in 3 orbs in my lifetime as of right now, which we all got a long lifetime ahead of us, so we're never guaranteed the next day. But they were huge. They weren't small, they were huge. Yeah. And sometimes that's just what happens. And if we're lucky to catch one, we're lucky to catch one. But
the best places I found is old places like the haunted safe house B&B and by Ohio State over there. There's a whole bunch of like any kind of old building like that. That's the old ones, the real old ones. You will catch a lot in those. Although I catch them in my living room too.
So Brenda is wondering, what do you think about REM pods?
REM pods. I own a REM pod, and I think every spirit ghost likes different things. That's why my team uses different things. It's just like trigger music. We'll use different trigger music for different eras, depending on where we are. The REM pod's cool. I do have one. I feel like when I'm in the schools and stuff, I don't feel like the little children like them as much. They like the pretty light up cat balls. I'm like a big one on my little cat ball, the little container thing. You've seen that stuff on my media pages. But
do you have it close by to you?
I do. Let me get it. So, which there are videos on my media. So here's the thing. Sarah Everett's, everybody, gets credit for the container, first of all, because Sarah and I are both very OCD with our equipment. And she got one of these. It's a container, crystal light container from your grocery store that you get crystal light in. It fits exactly 8 cat balls. Now, the reason why, and they don't bounce around, so it's awesome for traveling. However, Nikki was being lazy one time at an investigation, and I was leaving them on inside the container, and they were being smart. I was in the classroom. I had 4 outside the container, and 4 I left outside the classroom, but where I could see them in the container, just set the whole container down. So I asked them to light them up, and they were being smart, and they lit up the ones in the container. So then I said, do you like them better in the container? and they lit it up again. And I said, okay, I'll leave them that way. So I started doing that. And I have a couple spirits of light and love here that are always here in my house. And a lot of times if I need them to, they'll help me like test equipment. And I brought them home and I said, hey, the spirits in Farrar really like these. And what do you think about them? And again, they lit them up, not just one, but two. You know, you'd see bink and then bink, and you're like, okay. So,
what I like about the idea is that, okay, so when we have cat balls, I have like, 8 or 9 cat balls. And it's like,
yeah.
Okay, you place one here, here, and here. You walk away and you forget about it, and then all of a sudden you're losing your cat balls.
Yes.
So I might have to try that and just
everybody does. A lot of the little, Sarah and them, we all have our little things now. So try it, man.
I'm gonna have to try it.
And it also debunks the fact if you do have windiness, like windy, breezes going on, you're debunked right away.
Uneven and
there's certain Actually, if you give me 1 second, I'm gonna put them on this thing behind us, and they might chime in.
There you go.
Hopefully you can see them over there.
Kinda.
Can you see them over there? Yeah, they'll go on. We'll see.
We'll see. So
a lot of times around 9 o'clock is when I say they can actually come out if I do have my equipment on. It's called my spirit sesh. So they might actually light those up. They like to chime in on conversations that I'm having.
There you go.
It's weird, but
so Melanie's wondering is like, do you have more happier spirits that you connect with versus like spirits that are a little rough ended?
Yes. Bottom line, intention is everything. So go into it. Like attracts like, bottom line. If you're light and love, you're going to attract light and love. Now, don't get me wrong. There's always a little bit of darkness in that light, but don't fear it because you and me are light and love. So if anything, the darkness should be fearing us, right?
Right.
So if you go in there, I go in there, my team goes in there, Scotty goes in there, a lot of psychic mediums. Anytime we go into a place, we go in with intentions. We are protected. We have a white light around us. We say protection or prayer mantras. We always have guides and guardians with us, guiding, protecting us. Now, don't get me wrong. There have been situations where a couple times where I had to remove myself because there was a negative entity involved. And the hardest things that ever happened to me was me getting like nauseous quickly. Right. They either mess with your emotions, which if you're a person like Annie or me, we're like, nope, this isn't how we act. Let's get the hell out of here just for a minute. And then we're easily, we can come back in a little bit. But yeah, a couple times I got nauseous, but that was kind of before I started learning what the hell was going on with me and how to protect me. Right. So, and when I first met Scotty and Debbie, Refined Divine, both of them read me separately. And both of them were like, you need to sage a lot. Like I had attachments back then. They were like, nope, sage like every other day, and so now I've learned. But yeah, it's mainly the light and love. Go into it like that and you'll always get that. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's like that on both sides, people. If you're light and love on this side, you're probably going to attract some really cool people. There might be some not so cool people, but your vibe should be able to feel that. Always know who you are and let their vibe match yours. Don't try to go the other way.
Right. Absolutely. So Scott's wondering, what is your favorite place to investigate?
The Conjuring was real fun. That one was real fun just because we did more than that. We went to the Wildwood Sanitarium. It was just an awesome road trip. I was actually enlightened on the physical road trip. We were listening to the monkeys play. It was kind of like old school. It was pretty cool. But I'm going to say The Conjuring was cool. Ed Gein's cool though too because I connected with that because before I was even a ghost hunter, I used to study serial killers, of course. So that's and that's why I clicked with Scott right away. I'm like, oh, yay, somebody else that knows as much about Ed as I do. So, yeah, Ed Gein's it hit home because my grandma used to have a cottage in Plainfield. So,
okay.
Yeah, that was kind of a thing too. So
now, has there been a place that has like frightened you enough that you will never go back?
No. Absolutely not. I don't, if you want to know, Nikki, I don't fear anything, but are you ready for this? This
I'm
is where I'm
ready.
going to get really girly girl. Bugs. I do not like bugs. I get really girly girl when it comes to bugs and spiders, but you can put me in like E-cell block by myself in the pitch black without lights, or the morgue or death row. I don't care. Put me by myself in the pitch black. I'm fine. But don't put me with the spiders and the centipedes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's where I'm going to just like lose it. But that's about it. I still
Night,
go
Virgo.
tent camping and stuff. I grew up tent camping. It's not that bad, but yeah, it's a thing.
That is funny. Now you're gonna have to fight the bats up in the attic, unless if Lori's still in here. I don't know if the bats are gone in the attic.
Okay, so I don't. Okay, and I have to deal with that in a lot of places. Bats, I'm all right with. I used to actually help at the asylum. I used to say we used to have a catch and release program because I made Craig at the asylum actually buy us a bat net, and I would help catch the bats. So I'm because it's not a bug. You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah,
I mean, I can pick up a garter snake, no problem. I'm okay with that.
I don't do snakes.
I'll do frogs. I'll do mice, just not bugs. That's my thing.
That's funny. So what has been your most favorite experiment you have tried, and what kind of experiment do you want to try that you haven't done yet?
Okay, it's one that I'm kind of trying. I want to get the fog machine. Right now, I'm just using it literally with a vape CBD pen, but I am getting some kind of stuff. Just the vapor, the whole, and they portray it on Ghost of Devil's Perch. Katie Stafford, he's awesome, the mad scientist they call him, but of paranormal. But he had the machine, remember, with the green and the laser and stuff like that. So basically, when I went to Wildwood Sanitarium in New York, there was I don't know how to tell the story. It's kind of weird, sad, but there was a team there that loved that place. They always investigated and they were very scientific. Jeremy was one of their main people and he had passed away. And he ended up on the other side, but he still investigates with his team from the other side at the sanitarium. It's really weird, but they did that experiment. It's awesome. And well, I have two on my spirit team that I work with. But anyways, what they did was they talked to Jeremy and they wanted to do their little scientific. He used to wear a lab coat, have glasses and everything. They actually did set it up with the vapor kind of haze, whatever lighting they were supposed to have. Jeremy told them where he was going to stand, and they got a full apparition, very clear, of Jeremy, and posted up next to one of him on this side in his lab coat and stuff. And it is dead as day, Jeremy. And it just inspired me because I look at it like I did when I first I learned a lot from that first video in my basement. And okay, I'm going to bring out a big word here, quantum fluctuation. It's like a temporary quantum fluctuation. So no, but seriously, just a temporary change in energy in that point of space. And that's what happened when I caught the spirits downstairs. And that's how they got Jeremy. By changing the elements, they were able to, thicken that kind of area so he could come forward and manifest better. So that was kind of cool. And that's kind of what I want to focus on. A lot more orbs. I love the orb thing.
Just don't get the orb projector.
I won't get, oh my God. No, it's not that serious. It's not that serious.
I had a post. It was funny.
That is funny though. That's quite amusing actually.
So Joe was wondering, are you worried that you'll bring some attachments back home with you?
A lot of people ask that when I used to do the asylum tours, and hey there's Bill. No, because I already have spirits here. So it doesn't matter if something would attach to me. What I am actually concerned about is my spirits here. So for example, when I came home from The Conjuring, I'll do what's called a roll call in my house. I take out my SLS camera because it seems like the certain spirits that stay around here that are of light and love are always in the same areas and kind of they're in their space, in our space. So I usually have 3. When I came back from The Conjuring, I had 5. One of them didn't even manifest correctly. So that's where Nikki starts doing her thing, kind of saging.
So because was he like off kilter like this?
Yeah, he was just not your usual stick guy. It wasn't, And there's a lot of times when I have my, hi, Shell. Okay, so Shelly is my aunt. She's on my team.
Hey, Shelly.
So the Christopher one, the one that's my security, that's her nephew. And yeah, now you're getting the family
Hey,
involved.
come on in.
So yeah, Shell's awesome. Shelly, actually, I asked her to be on my team after Annie. There's 4 of us total, by the way, guys. It was me, then Annie, then my Aunt Shelly, and little Olivia. We call her Lil Boo. But Shelly, I immediately knew I needed Shelly because Shelly was seeing my great grandma,
Hey,
her
David.
grandma, when she was, hey, Dave, when she was like 7 or 8. She was seeing this lady walk down the hall, and the lady really wasn't there. And so she went up to my grandma and she said, hey, there's this lady walking down the hall. My grandma with a walker. My grandma knew who she was talking about. She goes, she won't hurt you. She's fine, you know? So,
Right.
so Shelly started studying the supernatural. She also studies Bigfoot, Darren.
The reason why she's saying that is because as of right now, I'm not a very big Bigfoot believer. But you know, who knows? If I see it in front of my face, I'll be more of a believer. I just think he's
How we
another
are with
form
the
of an
ghost.
alien.
Yeah.
So, but
So,
that's
yeah.
just my opinion. So,
But Shelly is well versed in when I brought her on the team, she already knew like past lives and stuff like that, reincarnation, and not just the Bigfoot thing, but she already knew about EVP stuff and stuff like that. So she kind of came pre-trained. Plus, she's a Gettysburg expert. She's been there like
there you
5
go.
times. She's like the walking, like you don't even want. You want Shell's notes, you know, instead of that whole tour guide, she'll like sum it up for you and be like, nope, this happened here, that happened here. Okay, next stop. You know what I mean?
Right,
So,
right.
do you do any
So
preparation?
preparations, yeah.
So, besides charging equipment and stuff, just
Hey, Beth.
protection mantras and no, just in setting our intentions and protection mantras. I do Scotty, and
There's
thanks to
Scotty.
Scotty,
Welcome to
psychic
the show.
medium Scotty Rourke, you guys. So Scotty is helping me with a lot of my gifts and stuff like that. But I was gonna say preparation. I do because Mr. Rourke has actually helped me build a couple on my spirit team. And in preparation, before I go to these places, I ask them and my guides and guardians to guide and protect me with light and love, kind of prepare them for where we're going. So that way I know when I'm not just walking in there, I'm walking in with a couple people on that side too that are like, hey, this girl's okay. You know, be good to her, but come out and communicate, you know? So
Yeah, I get that.
I get to see Scotty and Baraboo soon. So excited.
Okay. So friends of mine, Amy and Scott Bing, she's in here. They are actually in Baraboo tomorrow and Sunday. They'll be there.
Oh, yay.
And so they're actually going to the Baraboo Inn to do an investigation a little bit.
That's one of the first place I wanted to go, but it was during COVID, so we never got to go in there.
Let's see.
Do I pray often? I actually started praying when I became a ghost hunter. I was never baptized. My mom, family, they were confirmed, Catholic, all that stuff. They didn't want to push us children they wanted us to be able to choose our religion, is what it came down to. So what happened when I became a ghost hunter was now I realize it's one-on-one with God and Jesus. And I ask for them to guide and protect me as much as Saint Michael and like all of them. So I pray every day. I don't want to say night. I pray during the day. And I usually pray when I'm in my car. That's my thing. In fact, we have signs around because I'm like near Milwaukee. So we have signs like when those folded up stop signs are, you know, at stoplight, they'll say, did you pray today? And I'm like, yeah, I actually did. Thank you. But, you know, they have these little reminders all over Milwaukee. And I think it's great because, yeah, you should pray. Even if you're not, I am not like religious. I am very spiritual and I still believe in God and Jesus. It's okay to like I'm also kind of borderline Buddhist too. You know, I used to get my chant on and stuff and I coexist with a whole bunch of stuff. But people ask me what my religion is. And I say any path that leads to the light, right?
Right.
I mean,
that's just one of those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is the unorthodox or uncommon theory that you are, you know, related to in the paranormal field is what David's asking.
Something you don't think others really subscribe to or think about?
Sorry, I don't read well, David.
I'm trying to think. I don't know.
That's a mind-blowing
Unorthodox.
combination there.
Yeah, that's like a hard one, but I don't even know where to go with that one. I think there isn't really. I don't know. You lead me on that, Darren. What do you think?
It's not my job to think right now.
I know.
I don't know.
When
I'll
you're
have to think
dealing
about that one, David.
When you're
I really
dealing
do.
with this kind of, there isn't really, because everybody's opinions are different, and it doesn't mean
And
that
that's a
they're
good
wrong.
thing, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And it doesn't mean that they're wrong or unorthodox. It's kind of,
I'd like to go outside the box more of anything else.
yeah. Yeah, that's kind
And
of how you do start questioning stuff.
do things differently that people don't think about using. Like, I use simple things. I use like plasma balls. I
have a
use,
plasma lamp too.
I mean, it's just those different kinds of things. Or I forgot what it was.
I'll go old school, like a bell hanging on a door.
Yeah.
Like that's old school, and they'll you can actually like do a string of bells actually.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing. Yeah, that was Ed and Lorraine Warren used to do that stuff back in the day because we didn't have all the RIM pods. So yeah.
So Mike is leading the investigation there.
Say hi to the cowboy and Mary and
Wisconsin.
I know all the.
Come on now, be nice.
A heavy accent. That's funny because my friend's from Australia, and I always say she's got the most beautiful accent.
Now, like I said before, Mike Minnick is the one you want to get a hold of that spirit box you want to make.
The portal.
He can help you out. So Heather, hey Heather, how you doing?
Heather, okay, so Heather's my soul sister. Okay. Yeah, love her. I have numerous besties. I have a whole bunch of friends, but I don't just have one bestie. I have a lot. And I have two very close girls that live in Minnesota that are phenomenal professional investigators. Their energy is amazing. I'm all about energy. And when we're together, we're the power of three. I call us the power of three, Kristen and Heather. So in fact, we're going to be doing Villisca in July together.
That's going to be difficult.
So
now I'm curious about this one because Josh Hurd and his wife were just at Villisca.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him the question in YouTube, did your wife get emotional at Villisca? Because Amy's Crypt, I watched her on YouTube, and she got very emotional between 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and didn't know why.
She's picking up on somebody.
Yeah, it was like, she's like, this lady never cries on YouTube at all. And she flipped out.
Up on somebody.
So it's like, well, it's also a common trend there that women do get emotional more at the time of the night. So, or morning, I should say. So just see what happens when you go there, if that happens to you guys.
I will. Yeah, I will, because I am very. What was his last question? He asked, about the empath. And that's sad. I'm sorry I don't know where that last one was, but he was talking about, because his religion as a child didn't allow. I feel so bad, and I am so sorry that happened to you, Brenda, because that happens all the time with kids that remember, like kids that see ghosts, kids that experience past lives. And sometimes when they're brought up in that religious or Bible Belt kind of structure, they're told, no, that's not a thing. And it's just not a thing. And that is a thing. And it's sad, because then you have nobody to believe in you, especially the people that are closest to you. So first of all, I'm sorry that happened to you. Also, I'm going to tell you what Scotty tells me. If it feels right in here, it's right. Don't doubt your intuition. That is your first sign. When people are looking for signs, you are your first sign. You are your best equipment. So start there. And even though you ignored it in the past, like I did with my stuff, I was wondering why I'd go to Summerfest. We have like this cool festival here every year. And I was getting I was reading people's energies I didn't know weren't my own. I was getting so much anxiety. And once you acknowledge it and you find ways to like put up shields, spiritual shields to deal with that, it'll get a lot better, but you don't have to ignore it. My suggestion,
Just don't go to Walmart.
Right. Actually, that's a good place to practice reading people. Again, I'm speaking like Scotty would be so proud, but get a reading from a credible psychic. My favorites, not just Scotty Borg, even though he's one of my besties for real, but Brandy Miller. Brandy Miller is always out there from 28 Days Haunted. Find her on Facebook because she's always offering readings. She's always got posts for doing readings. Who else? Cindy Keza is one of my favorites, but she does more classes on it. She's got classes going throughout the year. And yeah.
Same thing too on BB3 TV. We have Charlie on here as well that does readings. We have April Bousset. I believe she does readings as well.
It'll help. It'll help you a lot. At least find yourself. Scotty was like, this is your gift, you know, or gifts, and this is where they come from. And then from there, it's like just easier to deal. And then they'll teach you stuff like magnesium. I didn't know that was a thing for empaths, but that's a huge thing for empaths. So, I mean, you can bathe in it. They have magnesium flakes. You can I take the chewables, which is another story because I used to take the hard compressed pill.
Right.
And because I'm opening up, since they know that even though I'm meditating, I'm not to the point like Scotty and Brandy are, but they'll come to me in my sleep. And they actually showed me a vision that pill was not digesting right. It was like a 5-second thing, but I was like, oh, I woke up like, oh, I'm supposed to be buying chewables. You know what I mean? So magnesium is a thing, but find a credible psychic that can give you a reading because then you'll feel less lost.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I have a medium on my team as well. So it's, so she does readings too.
Or find a couple of them because both Scotty and Debbie are the ones that truly like read me at different times. And they were both right on. Those two were right on. I didn't call you old. Water scrying.
There you go.
Oh, yes. Nailed it. Who is that? Is that Dennis or Christian? Regardless, you guys. Okay. So these guys are awesome. They are just two to their team, just Dennis and Christian. And they are amazing guys. Water scrying. I believe in scrying. The best way to take scry, though, don't be going face on, 45-degree angle. Always take 3. It's a way of communicating. It's a visual way of communicating for them. And one of my first scries was on water. It was.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So remember I said basement's haunted, took Annie Bestie to LaBelle Cemetery, started getting apparitions. After LaBelle, I said, let's go to Aztalan State Park by the burial mounds.
Thank you, Joe.
So I love you, Heather. Mwah.
Oh, sorry.
So we went to the burial mounds and I was getting full apparitions on a burial mound. So that wasn't even scry, like Pilgrim Lady with her kids standing in a field while I'm on a burial mound kind of stuff. And then, good question, Christopher. Hold on. Then I go to the river. The river was very smooth, and I will in person. I don't have it on my thing, but anytime I'm with you guys, paranormal at the Great Lakes Paranormal Conference, I'll show you guys this stuff on my phone. But it's literally an Indian face in the water, and I don't even have to tell people that. I just show them that, and they're like, "Whoa."
That's pretty cool.
It's very clear. And I didn't even know you could do water scrying until I did it. Suddenly I was like, whoa, what's this? You know?
Well, I mean, and I've heard of that. And then I heard of tea leaf. And then of course there's, what else is there? And then you get the mirrors. And then there's candles.
Yep. So. Yep. Mirror scry, candle scry. And it seems like, and again, this is kind of trickling to what Chris is talking about down here, my cousin. Now you're dealing with witchcraft, seances, Ouija boards. Okay, so we can even pull more into this, Chris, like tarot cards, stuff like that. You're doing stuff that's conjuring the spirits to talk to you.
Sorry.
I feel if the intentions are good, we love you, Brenda. I feel if the intention is good, light and love, pure light and love, I'm serious, not just, saying this shit. I think then you're kind of all right. But if you go back to like Lorraine Warren's, and her and Ed did a lot of cases. I really love those two. They are like my paranormal all-time power couple. They are amazing. But anyway, like God put them together for a reason, for sure. But if you listen to one of her interviews, she even says about 75% of her cases were because of Ouija boards. And I'm not saying they're bad. I don't play with them. Just
gotta have the right people with them.
I mean, people say the Ed Gein knife is cursed, and I held that. I'm still here. You know what I mean? But I know some bad stuff happened to the guy that owned it before. So there's that too, you know? So again, intention, protection. I cannot stress that enough. It's what it is.
My throat closed up and I got weird. So with holding a knife.
Mirror scrying. I tried mirror scrying. I was with Scotty when I did it. He stuffed me we were doing a private investigation, and he was like, I love you. And he was like, Nikki, go downstairs. Okay, well, it's one of these basements like Zach would throw Aaron in, or Dave Schrader would throw Shane Pittman in. Like it was used in the Prohibition days. Trap door in the kitchen. You have to go down a little stair, and here's Nikki sitting, and here's the mirror sitting right on the floor. So I'm just Indian style like I am now. You know, it's all dark, and somebody was watching me, but it wasn't threatening. And later found out that he did hang himself in the basement, but he wasn't like, he just checking me out. But I could not, I'm trying, like I said, I'm just starting to meditate and get in all this. So, but if that mirror's there, I was trying, and yeah, that's some stuff I'm willing to get into. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I see. With this face, with one eye, no, I'm not.
It's just easier. Voodoo, you're so funny with your one eye. You're hilarious, Darren. It's just as far as the scry and the 45-degree angle, because when you get that 45-degree angle, like we will do that scry picture off a door window. So you get that reflection, and we're trying to get as much behind us as we can, because we got a girl standing in a white lace. She wasn't there, you know what I mean? And the cemetery behind us. But the more you have of that area, the more you can get. You know what I'm saying? So if you're straight on, you're not going to get as much.
Right.
And take 3. Always take 3. We know this. That way it's easier to debunk.
Absolutely. So a question here, David.
Certain things. David, okay with that. I work at a very up-city breakfast lunch cafe in Pewaukee, Wisconsin. And we have a lot of up-city ladies that might not handle that kind of talk. So I read the room, but I'm a bartender. So if you sit at my bar, I have a lot of regulars, and my regulars come there to talk ghosts. There's a lot of customers that are like, you're the ghost hunter, I need to talk to you. And they sit down. Well, guess what? That lady that's like, suddenly she's all intrigued, trying to listen to what we're saying. You know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, even though, because bottom line, people fear what they don't know.
Right.
If you know, you don't fear it. You know what I mean? So when you want to deal with ghosts, you have to learn about death and the afterlife. It's what it is. And suddenly this one is, asking questions too. And at first I was here, Scotty, you're so cute. At first, when I started becoming a ghost hunter, I was trying to help the souls on that side. And then I realized the more open I am, because I don't have that ego. I don't care what you think about me. I have the love of Scotty, my booze, all that stuff. I don't need. So when it came to that, I realized that lady sitting at my bar also has questions, also had stories that she couldn't tell people, like Brenda, who couldn't talk about it. Suddenly these people come out and they have stories, and they have somebody that can actually believe them,
Right. And it gets a lot off their chest too. I mean, they're not bottling up.
Voodoo roll I drive through Sussex all the time. I'm a few things, guys. By night, I do the ghost hunting. By day, I'm a barista, bartender, coffee roaster at my one gig in Pewaukee. Then I do Amazon Flex driving, because a lot of ghost hunters will like DoorDash and stuff, because we can do that around our hunting. And then I still do my one girl's nails. I am a licensed nail tech. I only do one girl, but she comes to my house and actually plays with my ghosts. So she bought my ghost cat balls for Christmas. So there's that.
He wants you to retry his question again. He thinks you misunderstood.
The rules in the afterlife about telling the living certain things. I don't, I'm not, and Gail helped me with this. I used to be more careful about what I said. I don't try to convert anybody. I don't try to tell them what I think is the right thing. I just tell them, you know, hey, this experience happened to me. So this is what I go with. Your experience might be different. And it's kind of like my Aunt Debbie is very religious, my Aunt Debbie and Uncle Mike, and they do see what I do, and they might have their different beliefs, but we both still support each other in our own ways. My Uncle Mike is probably going to help me build the portal. He's very much electrical engineer. And I think that'll actually kind of make him a little curious of how this electronic device is helping me talk to his mother, my grandmother, you know, because I will be in fact, that happened with Scotty in that investigation. I'm in Estes and suddenly I'm like, hi, Grandma, because Grandma's coming. Grandma's on my spirit team. I have 2 people on my spirit team and Grandma's one of them. So
I do have a question about the Estes. Okay, so I'm not very good at it, but I do the questions and stuff like that. But my wife is really good at it. So we were at Granger House in the basement, and we were doing an Estes session. And towards the end of like the last 10 or 15 minutes of it, like she started saying things, the same thing in threes, but different words.
And how long? I think we were talking about this
the
other
day.
30 minutes. Yeah. And that's literally, now Heather that just popped on before, she is an Estes expert. She is probably the best person I know to be under an Estes. Kristen's always her partner with that, and she taps her out like that too. I don't know. I think you were just tapping into something that
it's the first time I've ever had it, because I've done like 3 or 4 Estes method sessions.
Yeah.
Tongue twister. And that was the first time, like, it's like here, die.
That's
go away.
And now was she self-aware of it at that time that she was doing that? Pretty much like
she had no idea what was going on. I told her, it's like, you were saying things in threes.
That's
and she's
weird.
Like, I was. They kind of lose themselves after 30 minutes.
They do. And actually at Karsten, thank you, Chris. Yeah, Joe, you can reach me at ANNIK Paranormal. My team's on all of them. We even have Pinterest. Yeah, Heather, you are amazing at Estes. We do Pinterest though, because a lot of people have questions about sage and protection crystals and clairvoyant or clairaudient or auras, chakras, all that stuff we have on the ANNIK Pinterest page, but we're on TikTok and Facebook and I don't know what are Instagram, all of them.
Just get them all, Joel.
Yeah, all of them. They're all ANNIK Paranormal. So yeah.
So what are one of the biggest misconceptions of the paranormal field to you?
What are one of the misconceptions? The word ghost hunter. Okay. So there was this like meme going around the other day, well, probably like a month ago, where it was like, what's the most annoying thing that you can say to a ghost hunter or ask a ghost hunter? For me, it's, did you find anything? You know, because a person that just hears the word ghost hunt, they think like we have to go out and look for them. It's like, no, they're always here. It's a matter of getting them to trust you enough, be comfortable enough to realize there's a respect level to talk to us, but they're, you know, and it's cute because that one I'm like, I just wish something would happen to some people so they wouldn't be so closed-minded about the subject. But then again, most of us are ghost hunters because we have something happen. And if you're a person that's always going to be like, what's that meme that says non-believers say that their house is haunted by logic and facts? Because if they hear a noise, it's just the wind to them. Well, of course, if you're on the other side knocking and making a noise and somebody's dismissing you, they're going to be like, all right, then never mind. I'll go next door and try to knock. You know what I mean? Like some of them are trying to get attention. So when you're connected, they come to you. Yes, yes. And you know that those boys have evidence. They have ghosts hugging them. They're of light and love. They really are. But that's what it comes down to. It's all intention. It's all, you guys found it. Okay, cool, Joe.
And which actually brings something up. So when me and my wife went to Sheboygan Asylum back in 2017, we were down in the area at that time where you could go to the bathroom is where you had to go through that whole bottom
by the
part
tunnels.
you
had to go through the tunnels off to left, up the stairs there.
Right,
When
right.
yep, okay.
And so we were doing a spirit box session,
Mhm,
and all of a sudden, my wife, she said she started getting a tingling in her lips.
mhm.
And I said, "What the heck is going on?" And I don't know. It was weird, but it was lasting a long time. I says, "Well, maybe a spirit is trying to kiss you or something."
That was happening down there though, hey?
Yeah, it was
It's
weird.
what's funny is, talking about no, for real, you guys, thank you for being you. Um, for real, when I was given a tour once, and some of these people don't even realize how much they are sensitives, just normal
Hmm.
people on a tour, they're not even aware, and this girl, I didn't tell her where we were yet, but she literally was like, "I'm tasting metal in my mouth." And I was like, "Honey, we're in an electroshock. We're walking into the electroshock right now." So,
Right.
and I feel bad because these are people that we all have gifts, we all have abilities. It's almost like
Hmm.
being a musician. I know great musicians that are born great musicians, and we could be just as good, but we have to practice and work to do that. So, like Brandy Miller, she just wakes up and she's like, "Hey, I can see everything." Okay, maybe we can't, but if we exercise our third eye and do our meditation, maybe we can start seeing and hearing them like Brandy too. It's just a matter of practicing.
I'll take a third eye.
Right?
Um,
You're so
so
funny.
so the wing, I want to believe it was not the nurse's wing, but there was so the one wing that you go down in the Sheboygan Asylum, and then as far as you go down, then there's this great big opening that's off to
In
the
the
right.
basement?
No, we're talking, I think it's there's what 5 levels, right?
No, there's 3 levels plus the basement,
Okay, so
and
I
it's
think this
all
is
an X. It's, like,
okay,
laid
so
out
I
like an
think it
X.
was we went off to the right, and it's been so long since I've been there,
Right.
but I think we're on level 2,
Okay.
and I was smelling a um a nurse's perfume
That
down the
well
hallway.
well, that would make sense because 'cause you're on level 2, and that was the nurse's ward is on level 2. Also, they used to get the infirmary is up on 3, and the nurses used to actually have a nurses station on 2, so they would walk up to 3 to grab their drugs for that shift and bring them down to the nurses
Okay,
station on 2. That was also a thing that went on there. I did interview a nurse that worked there in the 70s. I have a lot of stories because I used to do the historical tours there, so any
right.
questions, you guys, even after this, if you guys have questions, hit us up through ANNIK Paranormal. I can answer any questions about the asylum. I know some of the stuff on Glen Beulah. I've done those tours. I know I've done a historical tour and been a paranormal tour guide in Farrar, but only a few
Hmm.
times. Like the Globetrotters played on their field on their court.
Wow.
Yeah, fun stuff. The chapel. So yeah, Heather, with the chapel, we have in the living quarters. Um, the chapel, we have a little girl named Hope, and she comes out a lot. But again, she likes
I
the
gotta
music
get back
box.
out there.
There's a lot of, and with us when we go there, that's the other thing. The more you go to the same location, the more you're going to build a rapport with. I have a rapport with Larry, the janitor at Farrar. I don't know where he came from, but he answers to Larry, so we're going with that.
Hmm.
Um, 3 different spirits at Glen Beulah that'll come out still to this day. In fact, Paranormal Crossing Guard Paranormal, they went there and they tested that because I told them to tell my spirit buddies hi. And they sent me an EVP. They said, "Our friend Nikki says hi. Do you know Nikki?" And over the portal, yes. So it's really cute. What state is that in? All these, okay, so for our elementary schools in
That's an
Maxwell,
I.
Iowa,
Yep.
and then the Sheboygan Asylums in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. You have Glen
Yep.
Beulah, which they're going to have a paranormal conference in September. That's in Wisconsin.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places. The Worcester County Historical Museum. I do tours, or
Darren books those. Ed
I
Gein.
do bookings.
You do
Looking to try
bookings.
to help with tours. Um,
You do bookings.
I do bookings. Yes, I do the bookings for
And
that.
Scott did the book.
Right, right.
Amazon people. Actually, it's
That's
one of
in
the best Ed Gein books I've ever read. For real. I'm not just
absolutely.
saying that.
And so the museum is actually in Watoma, Wisconsin.
Hmm. We had a
Um,
lot of activity there, by the way.
oh
Lots. Even
yes,
from Carl. I bonded with Carl. Carl's a sweetheart.
Yeah. I mean, it could be also like every every location that's out there. Sometimes they have a hit or miss, or they have
Mm-hmm.
a shutdown period
Mm-hmm.
where you get
Yeah, where
nothing.
it's quieter or they'll come like right away and then suddenly they bounce. It's just like, where'd you guys go? You know?
Right, right. I mean, that's just what happens, and and then you go to Broadhead Manor, and they have two lull periods where they
Mhm.
just kind of quiet down, and then they bring back up, and you
Yeah.
know, so that's another great place to go to, which is in Broadhead, Wisconsin. So,
Yeah.
um,
That reminds me of Ethan. He just had a birthday. Hey, happy 21st, Ethan.
I know he got drunk as shit.
I'm sure he did.
So
Yay! And Jericho. Yes, I've been tapped in Jericho. That was fun.
I have not been there yet, and it's
Jericho,
45
I've
minutes
done
away.
Okay, the convent I feel is more haunted than the school. You're going to get activity in both, but my favorite is the convent in the basement. Yeah.
So, which raises another thing. Okay, so trigger objects.
Yes.
Do you bring trigger objects?
I usually don't bust out the Boo Bear unless I'm the Boo Buddy, unless I'm like in a school. Obviously, I'm not going to take it when I went to Joliet or something like that. The prisoners probably
Yeah,
don't play
that's
with it
not
as
gonna go
much.
well.
But yeah, like Little Hope loves the paranormal music box. In fact, there's this like kind of creepy 1950s French song that we play for Hope, and she, like, if we play her song, she'll come out and play the music box for Sarah and I. So it's
Mhm.
kind of, we definitely use different. In fact, third floor, by the way, likes Eminem at the asylum.
Oh
So
wow,
yeah,
that's interesting.
yeah. So to each their own. But as
Well,
far as, go ahead.
what I was gonna say is like, okay, so if I go to the convent,
Yep.
all right, and I bring like a rosary
Yep.
and bring like a nun's
Yep.
hat that they would wear,
Yep.
uh, do you think it would be a positive reaction, or do you think that'd be
It's
something more?
definitely a positive reaction. And what I suggest you do is when you're going to any location, put yourself in that time, in
Hmm.
that era, and put yourself like, what would they have done? What would they have had? Like at the asylum, the employees used to actually roll people's cigarettes. Now, when they would break in the tunnels, when the guys would break boiler rooms, they would go drinking in the tunnels and smoke.
Hmm.
So we would actually like, put a pack of cigarettes down there and be like, hey, you want a square? And Sarah would set it up with her little EMF trigger to, psh, and sure enough, they would come after a square. So yes, trigger objects are a huge thing. I mean, yeah, yeah.
I mean, and now that you bring about cigarettes, again, I was watching Josh Hurd on his YouTube channel. He has a cigarette REM pod.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, when we went to The Conjuring, we had somebody that had, Paul actually had an Annabelle REM
Hmm.
pod. I've seen the Ghostbusters, like the Ecto. I've seen the Ghostbusters Trap. I've seen the Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine. So they're
Hmm.
getting pretty creative, even with the, like, I think Sarah Everett has a Harry Potter playing one. So they kind of like can customize them for you nowadays instead of just the
Right, right.
spirit.
You just got to find the right person to do it for you.
Right, right. But it's definitely the spirit. Like, for example, Kit and I call him Kit because he hangs in my kitchen, one of my spirits here.
So now you got to get a kit car.
Kit car. That would be cool. Actually, I used to watch Knight Rider. That was a thing. But no, he prefers the ghost balls, the cat balls, where G, who's on my spirit team, he hits up the tripwire more. So,
Okay.
and it doesn't matter where, not even just here, because G comes on my investigations with me being on my spirit team, and that he'll still hit the tripwire. He comes through Estes more. So I think they all have their favorites that they
Right.
like to communicate with you with as well. You know what I'm saying? I think it goes both ways.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Chris knows Kit. A lot of them know Kit. People will come into my house and like acknowledge my ghost before me sometimes. So there's that. I don't.
Well, at least they're friendly
It's a
spirits.
respect thing. Yeah.
Um, so a lot of times I like to ask people this question is, so what is the holy grail of the paranormal to you personally? And if you capture your holy grail, are you going to quit or are you going to keep going and make a new holy grail?
I don't have one because I understand that we will never know it all. And I'm just trying to piece together what I can. I know
Hmm.
the universe is laying it out in its time. Like, I'll pick up on stuff when the universe knows it's right for me to pick up on stuff. So there is really no holy grail for me. In my opinion and in my beliefs, I've already put together some of the stuff, and that's one of my things is truth. Like truth vibrates at a certain frequency. And with me and my abilities, it's definitely like when I feel that A plus B equals C, I'm like, okay, that I kind of get that. And then some of the stuff, even though my beliefs are so strong on it, I might just still kind of like not come out and say them, because again, everybody has, it's kind of like Game of Thrones. Remember at the end, not everybody was happy, right? You know what I'm saying? And
my wife actually watched it more than I did.
Oh, I loved it. But yeah, so it's kind of like everybody's going to always have their own opinion. I don't have the holy grail of it. I just think you'll never know it all until you cross over. And then at that point, you're still ascending your soul because, you know, I mean, I believe that we get reincarnated. So every time that's why we have old souls. Souls that have been here numerous times before. I work with a girl named Kelly. She's younger than me and her soul is older than mine. And she actually remembers she remembers one of her past lives, put it that way, so much that, it's just unbelievable. My point is, we reincarnate, we ascend our souls. I feel that what we have to do on this side is love, forgive, and help others. And it seems like that's very hard for people to do these days. I don't understand why. So if you can even change what's in here for you, you're doing the world a great spot already. So you know what I mean? That's where I'm going with it.
You know, with reincarnation and stuff like that, I always, I have 3 cats in my house. I'd rather come back as a cat than actually have 9 lives.
A house cat, though, not that alley cat, the nice one that just gets to be fat and bask in the sun all day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I would like to come back as. So, and like I said before earlier today, as I was doing something with my tracer, and my cat was going nuts because he was walking all over it and was making it go off. He just stopped, like, what's going on here? And they're supposed to be attentive to the cat balls, but they don't care about the cat balls.
No, I said that on one of my videos. I said I don't anymore, but I've had cats. I have ghosts, and the ghosts have messed with those cat balls more than a cat ever will. That's the bottom line. That is truth.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I believe in reincarnation. I mean, we can come back as something different. We could come back as a different person, probably, like in past lives.
And that's why it's like, I feel like you get born and reborn until you learn the lessons of loving, forgiving, and helping others. Like, you're going to be born and maybe you're a person that abused somebody, but at some point you're going to be born and you're going to be the one getting abused. Either way, you're going to learn the lesson, or you're going to learn that lesson in life through somebody else that you love, watching them go through that. And until your soul honestly learns that lesson, I think you reincarnate and, you keep like ascending on this side and then also ascending on that side. But that's, again, just what I'm trying to piece together in this lifetime.
It's our
and figure
opinions.
Out. Yeah.
It's just like past lives. It's like I asked somebody, how many different past lives can you have? Yeah. But it's like you can have infinite past lives, I think, probably.
And you've had a great show to watch on that is The Ghost Inside My Child on Amazon Prime. And these are like 6-year-old little boy that's drawing the blueprints to the Titanic because he designed the Titanic. A little kid's not going to know how to do that, and explaining to his mom that this one stack, that was a dummy stack. It didn't really have smoke. It was just there because it made the ship look better. No 6-year-old is going to say that. You know what I mean? Like a matter of fact, and that is an awesome one. Ghost Inside Your Child. I highly recommend it. You will be blown away by that one.
I think I've heard that in the past.
It's amazing. It'll open your eyes for sure.
I hope it does with one.
There you go again.
Now with this one here, he is. So what is do you feel what your past life was?
Yeah. Well, I feel that you go through many. I do remember one dream, too graphic, but they also say, put it this way, that a lot of your birthmarks, if you have any, could possibly be, and again, this is just all
This is
hearsay,
different
read and
now.
blah,
I
blah,
never heard
blah.
this.
But
Birthmarks
yeah,
is
you know
new.
where I'm going with yeah, you know where I'm going with this. So they can
Kinda.
say that your birthmarks are possibly a mark from a fatality you had from a previous life. So, and I'm not going to go lifting up my shirt to show you guys my stomach, but we'll just
This is
say if
a
if we're ever at a beach and I'm wearing my bikini, seriously though, and it matches, and I didn't realize this until I was a ghost hunter and figure out that birthmark thing, but it corresponds with a dream I had when I was very little. And that dream I had when I was little was definitely a past life. Now that
okay.
I didn't know that at that time, and now I pieced it together, and it was it was kind of messed up, but needless to say, it's not the only, you don't just have one. I feel like you live many lives. I feel like, and whatever you're good at, I'll probably post that eventually. Whatever you're really good at naturally, I believe you probably did in a past life. Like, I feel like I was a race car driver. I don't speed anymore, but I'm telling you, if you ask me to drift a car, I feel like I could do that naturally. That's my thing.
Tomorrow you'll have a speeding ticket.
I took a stick shift like that, but I feel like I was an FBI agent. There's a lot of stuff that, like, I just naturally,
So like 10 years ago, I did have a reading now, Joe. I did have a reading and it was at a Paracon, and what they figured out is in my past life, I was a knight and I was stabbed from behind, and that's how I died. So, which is ironic because my wife's going to laugh. Every time I'm downstairs in the basement and I run upstairs, I'm like down up the stairs and looking behind because it always feels like something's behind me.
Now, Christopher would tell me that was E.T. back in the day. Seriously. He'd be like, run, E.T.'s coming. That was a thing. If that's what you feel, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, that's your intuition telling you something.
Yeah, and that's what I always do. I always think that there's something always coming up behind me when I'm going up the stairs or wherever as I'm walking. So I'm always being protective of what's behind me, and Mike will turn it into something else. But yeah, I mean that's just what my past life was. But that's all I really know, and haven't really got more about it. So.
Yeah, I feel like dreams, and Joe's kind of trickling into that too. You're going to deal with more of your past lives, I think, if you can remember your dreams. And to do that, you have to go in the intention of remembering your dreams. Intention, again, is everything. As far as the negative, Joe, okay, I'm going to tell you guys something. So my whole like childhood, high school, all that, I was having like really like dreams about being chased in tornadoes and stuff like that, to the point where I was like waking up exhausted. And I eventually started smoking pot to forget about my dreams. Seriously, that's the only thing because it wasn't like night terrors, but it was borderline like I was not sleeping right. And I'm not one to take chemicals. So that's how I would just deal with it. And now that I'm a ghost hunter, I stopped smoking pot because, of course, I'm trying to clear my mind and focus and meditate and all this. And it's helped my dreams as far as getting more control over them. I also like wear amethyst to bed. Amethyst can help with dreams. There's certain things you can do to try to control
Astral projection.
Yeah, stuff subconsciously that can actually help with your dreams.
Right.
So, or meditation. There's YouTube ones, meditation ones for when you sleep. That'll give you affirmations and stuff like that while you sleep. So that might be something to look into. Yeah. Dream catchers are a thing. There was actually a little kid that was having bad dreams, so little that he wouldn't even know what a dream catcher was. And he was like, he told his mama, he said, I need a dream catcher. That's a thing. If you guys do buy dream catchers, try to get a real homemade one, like with real red willow. That's like a serious, like when I'll be going to the Baraboo by the Dells soon in like a month. And I plan on going to the Indian Trading Post because that's where I actually get my sage from and stuff like that, the real stuff. So yeah, that's the thing, is try to look out for real, not just the acrylic, but the real dream catchers. That'll help too.
Night, Scotty. Thanks
Love
for
you,
joining
Scotty.
us. We're gonna wrap it up here in a few minutes here. So I got 3 fun questions I'd like to ask. And the first one is, so what's the one object in the whole world, one object that you never ever want to be haunted?
That I never want to be haunted?
Yep. One object.
Wow, me? How about me? I don't know. An object that I don't want to be haunted? I don't mind, because that stuff doesn't bother me.
Well, number one answer is toilet.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Is that really it? Your soul. See, that's what I said. Me. My sister gets me. She's my soul sister. She gets me. Aw, thanks, Joe. Back at you. You rock too. Thanks for following ANNIK.
So yeah, number one is toilet. Number 2 is your car.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
Number 3 is your cell phone or your computer.
Yeah.
And the last one, a toy that I'm not going to bring up.
That's hilarious.
Michelle Bellinger brought that up on a show once.
I like those two. They're cute. Those two are
so that's funny. So on the flip side of that, what would you want to be haunted?
Oh, see, those are good. I don't mind. I don't mind things being haunted. That's my problem. I'm so okay with it, because I feel like I deal with just as many people on that side now as I do on this side. And actually, those souls are easier to deal with because they're actually souls. They don't have egos. You're not dealing with their representative. The one thing that I would want haunted?
See, I would want my car to be haunted, so it drives me everywhere.
Yeah, because we grew up with Knight Rider. That's why. Just get your little freaking smartwatch and pick me up around the corner, Kit. Thank you, Michael. I'm going to be Bonnie, though, up in the semi.
I mean, that's just me. I mean, I used to watch Buck Rogers when I was a kid, so.
The TV would be creepy to be haunted. You know what I mean? Kind of that Carol Ann vibe.
I like my TV.
Yeah.
No, I don't want it.
They might find better stuff on. I don't know.
That depends. What do you consider better stuff these days? But I mean, we're not back and watching Laverne and Shirley and I Love Lucy.
Oh, but those were the good old days. The happy
Island
days. Those were the happy days. Dun dun.
Happy days. Yeah, no pun intended. And the last one I have is, so what's one object in the world that you never want to hold?
Annabelle. I said that pretty quick.
You did.
I don't know. Annabelle, we could say Robert the doll, but Robert's kind of crazy, man. He affects a lot of people.
I don't want to be anywhere near it.
Doll. Isn't that weird? Like, I love you guys. Oh, yeah. G. Okay. Yeah. See, Heather, one of the ones that's on my spirit team, he died in 2019. He comes through my dreams. He's on my spirit team. He comes through my equipment. He's like the leader of the team, and he is a very old soul, but so old that he's actually came through my Aunt Shelley's to her dreams and Heather's. So, yeah, Heather knows exactly that they're strong. So I'm very protected and very grateful for my friends on both sides. Put it that way. The box from Hellraiser. Love it, Joe. Like where your head's at.
I thought that'd be kind of cool. I'd like to sit and watch that thing.
Yeah. I don't, you just want to watch it.
I just want to watch
it. Robert the doll, Annabelle, any of those dolls.
What about a Divot box?
Yeah, that too. I don't know. You know, I got weird about I had to hold Ed's knife because I'm such I used to study Ed so much before I even went to the jail. Like, it was just a must.
Right, Amy.
I was like, I don't care.
Thanks for showing us. Have fun at Baraboo.
Thank you, Amy.
We might see you tomorrow, Amy.
Have a good
So
time. Hope for lots of activity.
yeah.
So yeah, but the at Whispers Estates, there's those two figures that are supposed to be cursed on the piano, and those
Okay.
I wouldn't touch for some reason. I was just like, nah, I'm all right with that one. Took some pictures of them, and I'm really just why again, I think it's intention. I should be fine. Like I said, I picked up Ed's. I'm fine, but at the same time, when you have it in your hand, if you think these crazy things, you couldn't unintentionally intend these crazy things,
Right. Right.
So,
A fun buddy of mine, let's see, Chris Nielsen from Traveler's Moon, which is with Kelly McCarroll Moonspinner. They said that they didn't want to hold anything from the Holocaust.
oh, that would be sad. That
Yeah.
would have a lot of
And
were
I
they
don't mean to touch on any feelings if people hopefully don't get offended I said that, but it's what
right.
came up.
Are they sensitive enough that they can do psychometry?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then you're dealing with some stuff. Anybody that doesn't know what psychometry is, it's when they like psychic mediums can hold objects and actually feel the energy and emotions, everything that's happened. Like anybody that was attached to that object, they can it's like a trigger object for a psychic.
Right.
So,
Right. So the last question is that I always like to leave the show with is what type of message would you like to leave the viewers tonight that you just like want to get out there and say, hey, I just heard this awesome message at this show and this is who it came from and what's the message you want to give the viewers tonight?
well, when you leave my bar, I say make good choices or don't get caught. That's the bar thing and lessons in life, right?
Right,
But no, seriously, if I have anything to tell you guys, just love each other, forgive each other, and help each other. Let's not just, start with yourself, start with your inner self, and be real. Be honest. Be like the souls are on that side. That's why I'd rather deal with those souls, is because Heather, and yes, be true to you. Trust your intuition. When you can be real, then what I do, like I said, I don't match energy. I vibe at a certain energy and people gravitate towards each other. Like attracts like. That's how Heather and I found each other. That's how Kristen and Heather found each other. And now, we're all the power of three. It happens like that. Just light and love. I cannot, and you will see that over all my team stuff. I'm here to help souls on both sides. That is what my team does, so that's helping others. So let's just all love each other. I know I sound like this cheesy girl that's like, oh, world peace, Miss Wisconsin here. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying love each other and let's have good vibes, because the more good vibes, happiness we have, the more bright our auras are. They see that. That's what they come to. We're like little lanterns for them. You know what I mean?
And the locations get better for you that you investigate.
Correct. And they'll get used to you. When we walk in that jail a year from, we did at Gein's jail last year, I'm going to talk to Carl, and I bet you he remembers me, because you know what? I'm the one soul that told Carl, I'm sorry what happened to you, Carl, what happened in your life to do this and what made you come to these circumstances. But I am one soul that loves all souls, and I love you, and know that, and I bet you Carl will remember me because not a lot of people probably go, did you tell Carl you loved him, Darren? No. So you just got to love people. I don't even care if you hate me. I'm probably going to love you more. Shakespeare even said that. Whether you love me or you hate me, both are in my favor. If you love me, I'll be in your heart. And if you hate me, I'm always going to be on your mind.
All right. That's true. That's very true.
So love each other. That's all I have to say.
Absolutely. And I fear more the living than I do the dead. So yeah, that's the other
we
thing.
All do. All ghost hunters do, because they're not real. They're not real. And when you find those real ones, you keep them close. Them close. Seriously. Right. I think we have some really good network Wisconsin people. They have that in Florida, a really good network of investigators that can work well together without drama and be professionals and have great times. That's what this is about.
Absolutely. So that's Nikki Wilson from ANNIK Paranormal. Thank you for being on tonight's show.
Thank you for having me. It was an honor.
It was awesome to have you on. Do you have any announcements you want to make at all before, or promotions you want to throw out there?
I don't have anything going on really. We might be up in an upcoming something, but I can't really talk about that yet. Not a show or anything, just little something, maybe a hard copy something, but
Right.
mhm.
So Scott here. Just want to point out that Scott will be investigating with ANNIK Paranormal at June 10th at the Worcester County Historic Museum, and sadly that will be his last paranormal investigation for now until he changes his mind. But it's a great way to go out, Scott. So catch him. I'm sure
I'll do some
Nick will be
lives
go
for
live.
you. Yeah, that's going to be in June. So I do try to go live when I'm at the investigations and stuff like that. So you guys can follow us on any of our stuff. And if you have any questions, let me know. Let me know.
Absolutely.
Just reach out. That's what we're all here for, each other.
Absolutely. And without you guys in the comment section, you greatly helped my show a lot, but throwing in your questions so I'm not
Yes.
thinking so hard. And
Thanks for joining the party.
it's been such a blast. You guys are great. And, like I said, if there's somebody that wants to be on the show, just let me know. Send me a message on Messenger or something, and I can get you on. So with that, I'll get the last few comments here real quick.
Shelly. See, Shelly and Scott are going to bond because they both like Bigfoot.
Right.
That's going to be a thing.
She's going to hit me with Bigfoot.
Yeah. Christopher, thank you. Thanks for being you. I owe you a Ponza, Chris.
There you go.
There you go. There's that Bigfoot thing already. Oh, they're going to feed off each other. And my mom's into it too. She's more into the UFO thing, but she'll dabble in that Bigfoot too. Yeah. I'm a supporter. I just try to focus on my serial killers and ghosts. So we all have our faves. Yeah, I do. Thank you guys. Much. Thank you to Chris. Thank you, Dennis. Crossing Guard Paranormal. I love you guys.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And remember,
thank you, Darren.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nikki. Remember to join us on the Paranormal Brew BB3 TV networks, MGS Paranormal on Facebook, and all that on YouTube, and Darren Bus on Twitch. We do shows on Mondays and Fridays, and usually if there is not a show going on, I will post it and stuff like that. So, but with that, I thank you all for joining us tonight. And
don't forget to hop on to
Paranormal Exposures and catch them live at Edinburgh Banner. And we both will be in the chat as soon as we're out of here. Some
online investigating with them.
Absolutely. Just pick up the comments here.
Kelly or Shelly's like, Bigfoot's for real.
He's an alien.
So great.
So with that,
all right.
I gotta get my hands right. This is Nikki. I'm Darren. I bid you all adieu. So long, everybody.